Why I Want is back with some familiar schools in the background of the thumbnails. Yes, we are revisiting the University of Michigan Wolverines, not talking about the Beniers or the Powers or the other guys that we have spoken about because there are a ton of Michigan prospects in the NHL from last year. This time around, we're heading over to the first name of 2022 that is going to be a Michigan commit. Let's go over to the USNTDP and discuss amongst ourselves a prospect who has a 3 in his name. Today we're going over Frank Nazar III. Now, on Elite Prospects, it actually just says Frank Nazar because his father and his grandfather, also named Frank Nazar, did not play any hockey, so they don't have Elite Prospects profiles, but Nazar is indeed the third. We're going to be referring to him as just Nazar in this video, and I say it like that because that's how the USNTDP guys go out there and say it. It's not Nazar, it's not Nazar, it's Nazar. So, who is Frank Nazar? He is an 18-year-old player, 5'10", 174, a center right wing with a right-handed shot from Mount Clements, Michigan in the USA. Because he was a good old Michigan kid, his father, Frank Nazar II, was actually a huge Red Wings fan, and so heading over to the University of Michigan for 2022-2023, you could definitely see how the connections align. Nazar, as we noted, is playing for the USNTDP's U18 team, where in 46 games played, he's got a total of 60 points. It's actually quite remarkable because he is second on the team in points, behind Isaac Howard and above Logan Cooley. Now, to be fair, Cooley has done what he has done in about 10 fewer games than Nazar and Howard, so the point production metric kind of favors him, but Nazar is still second on this team in points, and you should not go out there and discredit that. He's got 24 goals and 36 assists, so he's a dual-threat offensive player, but there's a lot more to his offense than just scoring goals and making plays. Nazar is a combination of hard work, skill, shooting ability, and creativity that blends itself into making such an extraordinary hockey player. And his reputation among some in the scouting community is that he could be the best player out of the draft due to the tools that he possesses. How does he play? Well, Frank Nazar is a very intense, very driven, focused player when he chases down pucks in the offensive zone, and he frequently grabs loose pucks because of his work ethic. He is one of the hardest working players in the draft, and when it comes to that type of profile, we usually see these sporadically throughout these drafts. I remember in the previous seasons we had guys like Albin Greva, we had Fabian Lysell, we had Peyton Krebs and Alex Turcotte as absolute workhorses. Frank Nazar has the motor that a lot of these other guys possesses. It's why in the offensive zone he is so good at tracking opponents down and forcing turnovers, trying to fight for the puck. Doesn't matter if it's on the half wall, if it's in the corner, if it's right out in front, Frank Nazar is always in there and he's always going. He's got a physical edge to his game as well, which helps him tremendously when hunting down pucks, and he's able to maneuver himself into these situations with his great skating mechanics. He's not a top-end speedster, but the acceleration and edge work that he has often has him beating out competitors to the puck. Whenever he has the puck on his stick, he is always driving the middle of the ice, sometimes recklessly forcing his way there. It's an instinctual play for Nazar to pick the puck up along the boards and try to dangle his way around, trying to force it into the middle. When he doesn't try to just force it there, he's very willing to throw pucks to loose areas around opponents and trying to go around them that way. And it's that undying will to put it into the middle that really serves him well when creating scoring chances for himself and for teammates. When he has the puck in tight, Nazar can really finish. He's got a great shot that's defined by his speedy release. When he doesn't want to shoot it, though, he can actually dangle the pants off of a goalie as well. His nifty hands really help him out in tight when making those goal-scoring opportunities. He's also got underrated creativity as well that allows him to do some pretty interesting things. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but there are a few goals that Nazar scores when he's right in front where he shoots the puck, but he doesn't really fire it. He doesn't bolt the puck towards the goal. More so, he just throws it upwards, and it usually catches goalies way off guard. These shots, once in a while, again, it's not a common thing, but it is present sometimes, Nazar will shoot the puck slowly, which gets goalies to overcommit, which leads to some very odd-looking goals, but he does that once in a while, I have noticed. When it comes to his playmaking ability, he's really creative in this respect as well. The one play that comes to my mind right away is a 2-on-1 that he had with the NTDP, where instead of cross-creasing it normally like a guy would, he actually went through the legs and forced a forehand pass that way so he could get more speed and a little bit more accuracy with where he was placing the puck. His playmaking is great because he passes the puck either to open space where he can go over around the opponent and chase it down, or he passes it to players in front with open space and gives them the scoring chances instead. He's an all-around offensive versatile player that's got such a strong motor to his game that it's really great to see just the overall versatility of Nazar in the NTDP lineup. Defensively, he's also a workhorse too. He's got himself that work ethic that carries itself over in all three zones, and on the boards, he's not afraid to get physical, so it leads to some pretty good defensive pressure. Nazar is just an all-around guy, and I think it's tough to label him as a two-way player because two-way kind of implies like, oh, Patrice Bergeron, he's not great offensively, but he's good defensively. No, Nazar is good everywhere. Now, when it comes to the rankings, Nazar is ranked as a consolidated ranking 10th overall by Elite Prospects. EP themselves has him at 4th overall. Future Considerations has him at 9. Bob McKenzie has him at 14. McKean's at 18. Craig Button at 13. He is ranked 17th overall by NHL Central Scouting for North American Skaters. Sportsnet has him at 16, Recruit Scouting has him at 10, Dauber has him at 8, Draft Prospects at 11, Smot Scouting at 6, and the Puck Authority at 12. Now, I said all this great stuff about Frank Nazar, how he's an all-around player, he can do this stuff in the offensive and defensive zone, how he's got good work ethic, etc. Why is he ranked as high as 4th overall by some, and as low as 18th overall by others? Well, to me it's more a question of consistency and how he projects at the next level. Nazar, to me, is more of a top 6, all-round energy forward who can make some very nice plays, who can force pucks into the middle of the ice because he loves to do that, and who can shoot himself up to maybe 15-20 goals on a season. Some scouts, like the ones at Elite Prospects, think that this is good enough to give him a 4th overall ranking, and some scouts that I've seen have said that he could be the best player out of this draft. However, others question his growth and how he projects, because last year he was, in some people's eyes, better than Logan Cooley for the NTDP's U17 team as a prospect, but this year, Cooley has just taken a huge step forward, and he is a unanimous top 3 pick, if not a top 2 pick. That's kind of the question you have to ask when it comes to Frank Nazar III and how he projects long-term. Cooley has had a great year, and he's getting rewarded because of it. He's shown off his playmaking ability, his creativity, his poise with the puck, and just his willingness to hold onto it a little bit of a split second more than Nazar is. Nazar, to me, feels more like an instinctual, just pure impulsive hockey player that usually gets rewarded because the decisions he makes and the impulses he have are all very positive. It's just Cooley has that edge that allows him to hold back and maybe wait a second or two more to make a better play or to get a better opportunity off. And it's why I personally don't see Nazar having a number 1 elite winger center ceiling. He could be a good number 1 center if he plays with the right line mates, but he's not going to be one of these bona fide franchise-defining players, in my opinion. He could go somewhere 4th overall, 5th overall, he could go somewhere in the late teens. It really depends on who's picking. But at the end of the day, Frank Nazar is an all-round offensive monster that's got good shooting abilities, good playmaking abilities, and a work ethic that is unmatched by many in this draft. He's very willing to battle in the corners, engage in physical battles, and force the puck to open space to force the play down. He's got really good agile skating, which allows him to beat other opponents out when this does happen, and his overall offensive zone package is lethal enough to give him success at the NTDP level. We'll see where he goes when he takes his talents over to the Wolverines next season. I really do think that a season or two in college is going to help Nazar tremendously. But if you're an NHL team in the first round of this year's entry draft and you're looking for that energy guy who also has a great offensive touch, he shouldn't be defined by his energy, but it's probably the most unique trait of his compared to the other prospects. Frank Nazar could be your guy. He could max out, in my opinion, as I said, a 20-goal, let's say 30-40 assist player in the NHL. Not really a top-of-the-league guy, but a certainly serviceable one. And the question just remains whether or not you take this guy at 5th or 6th overall, or you wait a little bit more and take him somewhere in the teens of the draft. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about Frank Nazar III and his entire prospect profile over here? He is very different from Logan Cooley and Isaac Howard, 2 other guys on the NTDP that are leading that team in points. We'll make videos about... Oh man, we already talked about Cooley. Yeah, we already did. So all that's left, I guess, is to do Isaac Howard and then the defenseman as well. Rutger McGroarty is also one I kind of want to talk about too, but I don't know if we're going to be able to have time for that one. Either way, though, let me know in the comments all your thoughts about Nazar and the way that he's played in the NTDP so far. Where do you see this guy going? Who do you think would benefit the most from drafting this kind of player? I hope you enjoyed. This was Troll 99, and bye.